Hey everybody. So I decided to try 24 hours of work-life balance, right? So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to tell you the 10 ways that I totally failed at work-life balance and why. So let's just dive in here. Okay, number one, I tried to schedule strict work and personal time. Sounds really good, right? So I made this great schedule and I plotted in times that I would go for a walk, have lunch, meet my sister for coffee, go to the gym, ride along in the cart with my partner when he's playing golf. I put all of that in my calendar. And you know what happened? You know what happened? I failed. I had a 8 a.m. walk time and my alarm went off for me to get up and go for a walk. And did I go for a walk? Not every day, not on my 24 hours when I was trying to do it just for one day. No, I set it aside and I continued working. Fail. And then when my husband asked me to meet him up for golf after work, so he said, I'm just going to go hit 9 holes and can you come join me? You could just ride along in the cart. It's a beautiful day. No, it's not. It's super hot. It's 100 degrees in Oklahoma. And I said, no, I think I'm just gonna relax and read a book. Like I'm just gonna sit on the couch, read one of my books here. I have like lots of books waiting for me. I thought I would do that. Did I? No. I went to the sofa with one of my books, and after just a couple pages, I opened up my phone and started checking emails and editing a book that I'm working on, all of those things. So big, big fail. I mean, it's nice. I have it in the calendar as a promise to myself, but in just the 24 hours, I was trying to relax and to, have these times strict separation of personal and work. It didn't work so well, just saying. Okay, number two, I tried to set some boundaries with my work by setting an away message on my work email. I tried to limit my email checking to just like office hours from, 8 until 5. I even set my phone to turn off at 6 o'clock so I wouldn't get any messages coming in, no notifications or anything like that. I tried for the 24 hours to remove my Outlook from my phone, but I realized that also removed my calendar from the phone. So I had to have Outlook, or I have to figure out how to do that. So that didn't work so well. Also, it was kind of difficult to ignore the emails coming in because I have a personal email and I have a work email, but of course they kind of overlap because I have my ethical ELA work where people are emailing me some things that have to do with projects related to Verse Love and Open Right. And sometimes I have my Google Docs set up on my personal email because I've run out of space in other emails. So there's kind of an overlap of the email kind of things too. I think my best bet for setting boundaries with checking emails and things like that is to put my phone away totally and then leave and go for a walk. I'm going to try that a little bit later today to try to just, because it didn't work out yesterday, I took my phone with me and I found that I was like taking notes while I'm walking. But I think what I've learned from like trying to set boundaries and not check email or limiting communication to office hours, I find that I get an idea before 8 a.m. or I get an idea after 6 p.m. and I can't just sort of limit checking an email or going on to write a note or add something to my calendar. So that limiting kind of piece, that didn't work out so well for me either. So fail number two. Now we're on to fail number three. I mean, like my attempt, number three. Okay, so number three is delegating tasks. And actually, I wasn't so terrible at this. So for the 24 hours, I tried to not do everything that came through on the email. So for example, working on this book project and I'm doing some edits, but it's also like collaborative with other people. So what I decided to do was like change, instead of having commenting access, I gave 2 people editing access and I asked them just to go ahead and make the edits without me having to approve them, because these are people that I trusted and people who know the project really well. And that felt really good to like let them do that, and just to kind of delegate some of the responsibilities. I found that people want to have some responsibilities. They want to help me. They notice that I'm doing a lot and want to be useful and have many skills and and talents that can help take a little bit of load off what I'm doing and free up a little bit more time for myself. So I actually, this worked out pretty well. The other thing, I really like designing book covers and designing the books that I'm working on, but I decided to go to Fiverr. I think it's Fiverr, it might be Fever, and get a consultant to spend, you know, like $5 or $10 just to have them start a book cover for me or start some interior designing of the book for me, so that I could get some ideas. And then I could decide if, you know, maybe for another 50 or $100, I'm going to let them just do that part for me and download it. Now, this again is a little bit difficult because like I'm trying to have some work-life balance. So like delegating some things so that I can take some work off my plate and have some more personal time. But the thing is that this freed up time for me to think about other projects, and it didn't really make me relax. It made me want to communicate with this other person who's taking up this project. So it really turned into a little bit more communication. It turned into a little bit more like I had to add an app to my phone. So I'm like following like the messages coming from Fiverr. So it kind of added another layer of things, and the delegating just kind of created a different kind of work for me. So while delegating seems like it's going to be potentially could be a big help for me for my work-life balance, it seems like they're just mixed together. And I have more, it just creates more space for me to do more work or more projects, which I really enjoy doing, and it's actually just part of my life. So I think delegation for projects worked pretty well for me, but I don't know if short term it gave me what I needed in my 24 hours. Okay, number 4. I'm gonna take a breath and slow down a little bit. Implementing a no work zone at home. Okay, I'm gonna show you some pictures around my house. You can see that there's a stack of books in my office and by my bed and next to the sofa. There's also laundry in the room from my most recent trip, and my suitcase is still out. These are all elements of my work, because my work is about reading. It's about writing. It involves traveling. I can't like extract my work because my work zone is my home zone, is my life zone. So it's very difficult to separate these things because I like to have a book in every corner to pick up or to look at or to remind me I have wonderful things to read. So the work zone thing at home didn't really work very well for me. I've tried to have like a no work time zone. That's worked a little bit better. This was something before I moved to Oklahoma and took on my higher education job. And when I was a K-12 teacher, I would have Sundays be a no work at all. And I would go play volleyball, and I would have a really busy schedule with like fun and things like that and lunch dates and stuff like that. Being here is not quite the same. I don't have like a full day where I'm not working or a full day where I'm not doing any kind of school projects or education projects or professional development. So I don't really have a no work time zone yet, unless I have some activities planned. So I really think that might be the way of the future. I kind of need like a hobby that's completely unrelated if I want a no work zone. I'm not so sure that I want to. I really enjoy the things that I'm doing. So the no work zone at home didn't quite work well for me. Okay, number 5. This is prioritizing self-care. I have a little bit of like hate relationship with this phrase self-care. I don't think that this is something, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's didactic or condescending or something. I don't really know how to think about this term. Maybe you have a better term that you want to work that you can share with me in the comments. But I tried to prioritize some wellness activities, like going for the walk. I told you I tried to plan an 8 a.m. walk and a 12 p.m. walk. I have a friend who set up this method Pomodoro method or something, where it's like 25 minutes of work and then an alarm goes off and you take 5 minutes of stretching. That worked out really well for me. Like I kind of got out of my seat and I did some of my one and done workouts from Svelte or Coach Mir stuff. I think I've told you about her before. So that worked out well to have like a timer to remind me to get up and have some water or get up and do some movement. So that kind of worked well. I do like to go for a walk. Sometimes when I go for a walk, I come back with more ideas. So the walk is for my body and for my mind, but there it is again. It's also for my work. It helps me think more clearly and gives me some ideas, which is really great. Um, when there are, you know, when an idea comes or there's like a last minute email or a task or something, a lot of times my plan to go for a walk or to make a smoothie goes to the back burner. In fact, right now I'm remembering that my husband made lemon squares and he left one for me for a treat. And I thought, oh, that's going to be a nice break in my day to have a treat of a lemon square. But the 24 hours went by and I never ate the lemon square because I was thinking about other things. So, I try to make self-care a priority or well-being things a priority, but inevitably they kind of get pushed back as other things come up that I prefer to spend my brain thinking about. Um, and I mean, I guess I just need a kind of hobby or something where it's like scheduled in and I have to go to it or like an appointment or something like that. I don't know. But other than that, my self-care activities are not so great. So that was kind of a big fail for me too. Okay, number 6 was trying to block time for a personal project. Okay, my personal project right now is travel. I'm thinking about planning a year of travel for but of course, this is just not for fun. This is for my sabbatical. So there we go. It's connected to work again. Um, so blocking time to work on that personal project is actually still work. And, you know, gathering some ideas for where I want to go and doing some research on websites and watching some travel videos. Like, I love that. And as I was thinking about personal projects, I was started watching the Olympics and I love watching beach volleyball. So I started watching that. And then I thought, you know what? Let's search up their schedule and maybe I can do some travel and go see some international beach volleyball tournaments when I'm traveling. So that was some time blocking for exploring and for travel planning and all of that. I would call that a personal project, but I also would call that a work project. So I don't know if that's work-life balance or just, work life all connected. So maybe that's a fail, but maybe that was great because actually that was really fun for me. Okay, my number 7 is kind of a redo. I tried turning off notifications. So I have my notifications turned off on my computer when I'm working, so I don't hear the ding of the email. And I have my notifications turned off on my phone, so I don't hear any phone calls or text messages or things like that. The problem is that my partner, my husband, communicates with me sometimes through email and sometimes through text. And it's usually if something comes up during the day that's pretty important. So I don't know to check my phone regularly unless I have that notification on or unless the phone is in front of me. And if the phone is in front of me and I start to see like visually there's a notification from him, and then that leads me to check Instagram and that leads me to check Facebook, and it kind of is like this unraveling. Um, so the notifications off might help a little bit, especially when I'm working on my computer, but the notifications off on my phone just make me detached from other things that are going on. So, I think that my work life, personal life and work life require attention to people when we have projects going on and I have to follow up and I want to be dependable. And I think the notifications are not that big of a deal. I don't think I've totally failed at it by having the notifications on my phone and on my computer, just turned off. I just like have to remember to check it. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of all over the place with this notification thing. Have you figured out a way to set your notifications or not set your notifications in a way that helps you feel more present or not frazzled when it comes to finding some balance, or it's just kind of intuitive. It feels like it's just intuitive for me. Like I just check when I can or when I have some brain space to do it. It's not really intentional. It just is like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom now. So I like get up and stretch and I'll check my phone while I'm at it and check my messages. I don't take my phone into the bathroom. Well, actually, sometimes I do, but I try not to. But I just kind of check all of my emails and Facebook and Instagram, like all and YouTube. I kind of just check that all at the same time when I have a little brain space in between my writing or my reading. So I don't know, how does that work for you? Okay, so number 8 is setting 8 realistic goals for my work-life balance. So I began with creating like a calendar for the week to schedule in time for reading and writing and exercising and eating and resting, um, time for dinner, time for a movie. I think I'm like best once my partner gets home from work because then we have set dinner together and then we usually watch a movie. So it's a good 3 or 4 hours that really does feel personal as long as I turn my phone off and set it away so I'm not checking it. So the realistic goal for me is to try an 8-hour workday. I don't know where that came up. I don't know whose idea it was. But I thought like a good goal might be an 8-hour workday. What's more realistic for me is somewhere between 10 and 12, because I work basically from when I get up into when my partner comes home. So if I can sleep a little bit later, if I can stay in bed a little bit later, I'm going to put off starting work a little bit more. But if I get up earlier, I'm basically up checking emails, doing some writing, my brain gets going, and then I'm working until he at 4 o'clock. Sometimes he goes to the gym, comes home at 6, and then we start dinner and watch a movie, and then I don't really do work once he gets home. So maybe like he is my most realistic goal. Like once he is here, I'm typically better about reminding myself and the world that I'm also have this other life that I can also be a partner for someone. But you know, in all honesty, sometimes I'm still checking my phone. I try not to, but sometimes I do. So the realistic goal is to start working when I wake up and stop working when my partner comes home, 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And I think that's basically how it works for me. All right, my number 9 effort was to have a dedicated workspace. So the other was like a no work zone, meaning like if I'm in the living room or if I'm in my bedroom, I'm not working, which doesn't work as I explained to you before because I will bring my books or I'll be writing a poem on my phone or I'll be watching a YouTube video about my travel or about teaching, or I'll be checking Facebook and seeing how my friends are doing, or I'll be posting something on Instagram related to the poetry work that we're doing or something like that, or I'll be checking edits on our book. So I'm in bed or I'm on the couch. I like those spaces, being in those spaces. But I tried to make a dedicated workspace, which is this office. So only in here will I work. That worked kind of for me. I usually come in here if this is where the computer is. But it's not always good for me to be sitting in the chair. Sometimes I need to be standing. Sometimes I need to be laying down. So I like to work in a lot of different kinds of positions. But the dedicated workspace is pretty good for me because I have a large screen here. I have my computer. I have good lighting. I have a nice window over here. I also have a comfy chair if I want to sit in it. I can do my stretching in here in between like work breaks and things like that. So this works out pretty well. However, the truth is, once I start walking, my dedicated workspace walks with me because my brain starts to think about new ideas or emails to follow up on or people I needed to get in touch with. And I start coming up with all these ideas because my brain space has woken up in a different way once I start walking. So I move away from the project I'm doing at my computer. I go for my nice walk outside. 20 minutes into it, I start coming up with these new ideas and I'm really eager to get home so I can write them down if I left my phone at home. So the dedicated works is kind of a thing, but yeah, I fail at that too. Okay, here's number 10. I don't know why my fingers look kind of purpley, but okay, number 10. Embracing flexibility. I think that's where I'm at. Maybe this is not so much of a fail. I adapt my schedule as I need to. So this approach, I try to, walk at 8, walk at noon, have this meeting for 2 hours, write for a few hours, take a break, do a little bit of laundry, come back. Um, Actually, this afternoon, I did a little bit of vacuuming. I told my partner yesterday, I'm like, I don't want to hear the vacuum while I'm watching the beach volleyball. So see, I was doing some relaxing and I said, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll put it on my calendar. And I did. I put it on my calendar. That's personal stuff, right? Doing laundry, vacuuming, that counts as a work-life balance, doesn't it? I mean, like I should actually have gotten some points on this one. So yeah, I'm adapting my schedule as I need to. I think that's one of the affordances of being in higher education and rather than classroom teaching, because I can write, do research, I can do all of this from my home. I can be planning for my classes, and then I can also do a little laundry, do a little vacuuming in between, go for a walk if I need to. So I'm really embracing this flexibility. And I don't think that the personal work-life balance has to be rigid or has to actually be like 50-50 or any sort of percentages or anything. It's just like having this flexibility to do what I need when I need to and just like listen to my body if I need more rest or a break, and listen to my mind when I'm inspired and I have things to do and ideas to explore. All right, so there you have it. Those are my 10. 10 ways I tried and failed to achieve work-life balance in just 24 hours. The truth is that teaching, being an educator is a full-time commitment that blends into every aspect of my life. This is for me. It might not be the same for you. I can't extract the educator in me. I can't extract the researcher in me. I can't extract the person who enjoys being part of an education community and has these projects that I get to do with teachers. So instead of striving for some sort of perfect balance, it's for me seems to be more about finding some harmony in sort of the chaos, as you have probably heard some of the chaos in my talking, and then accepting that teaching is my life. It is my life. It is very personal. It is very professional. It is both and. And if any of this resonates with you, I mean, I'd love to hear your ideas or your reactions in the comments so that we can continue this conversation and maybe disrupt or complicate this idea of work-life balance or self-care, well-being, any of those kinds of phrases and ideas. I'd just love to hear about that. And there are other videos that I've recorded about transitioning from K-12 to higher education and some of the adjustments that I've made in higher ed. So check out those videos there. And there's another video coming up with some of the things that I wish I would have done differently had I known what it means to be a professor. So I'm gonna have that video coming up too. So go ahead and check that one out. So, until next time, see ya.